Thank you for trying TechSmith's Camtasia Relay.
Alright, finishing up lesson 2.2, we are going to take a look at stem and leaf plots and bar charts. Okay, here's stem and leaf plot. You should have seen this in the past, but for some reason there's always some students that have a difficult time with parts of the stem and leaf plot. You can see a graphical display with stems showing the leftmost digit of the values separated from the leaves, which are showing the next digit or set of digits. Okay, this should be the same definition. So here we have, this is basically this one combined with this one is 11. This is 12, 20, 25, 30, 30, 30, 32, 35, 39, and then it continues on. Notice at the bottom there's a key that this could be, I guess, 1.1, and you wouldn't know the difference because the decimal points do not go here. And so the key here at the bottom is to show you the values. So the example they chosen for the key is to do the 3, then the stem line 9, and it says represents 39. Notice the units as well, miles per hour. Okay, there are a couple different setups for the stem and leaf plot. This next one they call split stems. Okay, here this one students always don't quite understand this one. It says stem and leaf plot, and the leaves for each stem are split into 2 or more lines. Typically we'll see 2 lines. Okay, for example, if the second digit is a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, it is placed in the first line for that stem. If the second digit is 5 through 9, it is placed in the second line. So, for instance, here we have 1 dot, 2 dot. Alright, so this is 11, 12. Notice this one is empty. That is because there is no numbers in this data set that are 15, 16, 17, 18, or 19. So that's why this line is empty. This represents 20. Now this 5 right here represents 25. And that's the one that always throws students off. So this is 30, 30, 30, 32. This is 35, 39, 40, 40, 40, 42, 45, 48, etc. It's the same data set as before, but showing it in a split. And so what you will sometimes see this used for is if our data set is quite large. These can get really, really long set of leaves, and so of course by splitting each set of 10 in half, it doesn't create as long of a leaf. So then the next type, double or back-to-back stem plots. You'll see these and have to interpret these as well. So notice the same dots. Okay, so we have 11, 12, and again there is no 15 through 19, which is why this line is blank. This is 20, this is 25, 30, 32, and so this non-predator side is read exactly the same as the previous 2. This side over here, remember this in the middle is still our stem. So I'm going to read through. This number here is with this 3 and this 0, that is 30. 30. This again here, this 9 lines up with this dot, so that's 39. This is 42, this is 50, and this is 70. And so the left side, the predator side in this case, you're basically reading the digits backwards because the stem has to come first and then it's the leaf, which is the next digit. So something to keep in mind when you are reading values off from these types of plots. Okay. On this page here talks about in the first 2 lines n equals 18, that 18 cases were plotted. N star equals 21 means that there were 21 cases in the original data set for which the speeds were missing. And the leaf unit 1.0 means that the ones digits were graphed as leaves. So we have these are our leaves, or I'm sorry, excuse me, this is our stem, the 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and so again this would be 11, 12, nothing here, 20, 25, 30, 30, 30, 32, 35, 39, and it's this column of numbers that always confuses students. Okay, this 2 right here stands so far there have been 2 data values, the 11 and 12. This next line is a 2 because as of right now there is still only have been 2 because this one has not added any to it because this one is blank. There's no leaves here. The reason this is a 3 now is because up to this point, if I draw a line right here, there have been 3 data points or 3 data values, and those 3 are 11, 12, and 20. It goes up to 4 because we've added one more here. So up to this point we have 4 data values, the 11, 12, 20, and 25, and then all of a sudden the 4 jumps to 8. Well, that's because we had 4 previous to that, and this line has added 4 more. That's the 30, 30, 30, and 32. All right, and so up to this point, from this point and above, there have been 8 data values, and now there's 2 in parentheses right in the middle. You know, why is it not 10? Well, this parentheses represents that the median is in here. We have reached the middle of the data set, okay, and this line contains 2 data values. And what happens is we work our way down. Okay, so now if I basically do the same thing that I worked at from the top down, if I work from the bottom up, we're doing the same thing. So our 70 is our largest one, and there's 1 data value. Now there's no 60s, there's no 59 through 55 through 59, and so these are all 1s here. So up to this point we've only had the 1 data value of 70. Then I go to here and it's a 2. That's because this line has added 1 data value of 50. So up to this point we've had 2, and they are 70 and 50. Then it jumps to 4 because we've added 2 more in that line, 45 and 48. And so from this point down we've had 4, and then the same thing here. And so basically from top down and from bottom up we work our way towards the middle to that median, and again those parentheses stand for that the median is in that row somewhere. Obviously only 2 choices to pick from. Alright, so here again you can read through these. I'm not going to read these bullet points to you, but stem and leaf plot, what they're useful for. Alright, that's always good to keep in mind. Let's go to the next page. This activity, haven't fully decided if I'm going to do it this year. I didn't do it last year, so you'll find out when you come to class. Bar charts, last one. Alright, this is the one that's most different because this is the one that's used for categorical data. Everything else up to this point in 2.2 has been for quantitative numbers. Okay, and so across the bottom, again, you can say, well, they're using numbers 0 and 1, but they're coded. Okay, and so the categories were wild and domestic, and the 1 and the 0 stand for wild and domesticated. So there were 10 zeros, so there were 10 wild. I'm pretty sure that the zeros were wild here. You know, I might have that backwards. Oh, right here. Domesticated 0, excuse me. Right here at the bottom, where I always tell you guys to look. I guess I should do the same. So there have been, that bar goes up to 10. So there were 10 domesticated animals. And the 1 column, or the 1 bar, which stands for wild mammals, goes up to, oh, it looks like maybe 29-ish. And so there were 29 wild ones. Okay. The next page here is just an expansion. Notice the digits 1 through 9 across the bottom. Again, that is not quantitative because there's a key that goes along with it up here. All right, and talking about education for that. Okay, so there's not really too much to say. I mean, this is, I guess the only difference between this one and the last one is the y-axis here is a proportion. So we don't have the exact quantity or frequencies here. But if we just kind of pick on this highest bar here that goes up to maybe, I'm going to say 32 or 0.32 or 0.33. So we're looking at the 3, which is high school graduate. We're looking at about 32% or 33%. So instead of frequencies, we've got proportions. So again, it's always good to look at the axes and what they're labeled, as well as what the whole graph is representing. So, well, I'm going to end 2.2 here, and I will see you next at 2.3. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening and weekend. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for trying TechSmith's Camtasia Relay.